In no particular order, here are a few of the strangest apps ever created. Number 10. Cuddlr / Spoonr. Cuddling. It's something that we've all done before, and of course, some people like it way more than other people. However, does it really make sense that there are people that are looking to just cuddle on an app? Is that kind of weird to you guys, or no? In 2014, an app called Cuddlr was launched and later became known as Spoonr, and in a nutshell, it connected strangers who wanted nothing more than cuddling with a complete stranger. It was an initial success. Hundreds of thousands of people downloaded the app. It even landed in the top 10 most downloaded apps in the Apple library. While creator Charlie Williams saw this as, quote, more of a sex-free safe space where people could meet up without any strings attached, things apparently don't quite pan out that way. People reported being creeped out and often felt uncomfortable by their interactions with the strangers they met up with. The app existed all of 6 months before Williams sold the app to another New York entrepreneur. Although the new owner rebranded the app as Spoonr, the app met its ultimate demise because too many people were still trying to do more than spooning. Yeah. Number 9. Annoy A-Teen. Teenagers will always be teenagers. Because of the fact that their brains aren't fully developed yet, they do some amazingly dumb stuff. By the way, our brains don't fully develop until the age of 25. Anyways, it's teenagers who do things such as rolling someone's yard with a toilet paper, or they get overly dramatic because they broke up with their boyfriend or girlfriend of 6 months. If there's a teenager out there that's crossed you, there's a great way for you to get back on them. And it's pretty devious and pretty awesome at the same time. It's no secret that as we age, our hearing gets worse. Even if you take good care of your ears, certain frequencies become inaudible as we get older. Because of their great hearing, teenagers hear high-pitched frequencies than most adults cannot. That little bit of knowledge has given rise to an app called Annoy A-Teen. It's an app that plays an irregularly high-pitched noise that's supposedly really annoying. There's a slider to control the frequency of the sound, just in case your hearing is actually still great. Some businesses in the past have used similar mechanisms to get loitering teens from hanging out near their businesses. So, for those of you with teenagers around the house, or maybe you're a high school teacher, give this app a shot and let us know how well it works. Number 8. Watching Cute Girl. It's no secret that guys like looking at cute girls. Obviously, you don't want to stare at anyone long enough to make them feel uncomfortable. But being watched by cute girls? Plenty of people apparently have that desire, so there's an app for that. Sort of. A comedian from Japan named Kendo Kobayashi created an app that allows you to be watched by a cute girl. The on-screen image of a girl basically just watched you, and she would utter a number of pre-recorded phrases. She would giggle, whisper, and even get emotional, almost as if it's a joke. The app's website claimed that this can act as an inspirational tool during the day, but some people have speculated that it was all a big sociological joke of some sort. Still, the concept was bizarrely creepy and seems kind of similar to the plot of the movie Her, a 2013 film where a lonely greeting card writer falls in love with a female operating system. While the film's plot and the app we're discussing here don't totally align, the overall theme of humans bonding with technology while withdrawing from people around them seems to be a real thing. Number 7. I am rich. For $1,000, you can do plenty of things, such as buying the latest iPhone or taking a bunch of your good friends out to dinner. A really fancy dinner, that is. Or you can do something good for the world and donate it to charity. Or, because you're so rich, you can completely waste it on something frivolous, such as an app that does nothing but remind you that you're rich. That's exactly the I Am Rich app. It had cost $999.99, which was the maximum that Apple would allow their apps to cost. When you buy and open the app, the words I am rich appears on the screen, along with the words I deserve it, I am good, healthy, and successful. Okay. On the day it was released, 8 people actually bought the app. That's 8 complete idiots who had a lot of money. Well, one person did buy it by accident. The App was only available for 1 day in 2008 before Apple took it down. The app was developed by a German guy named Armin Heinrich. He maintained that his product was a success. He said that he got emails from customers telling him that they really loved the app and that they had no trouble spending the money. When Apple removed the app from their store, Heinrich was incredulous. He was sure that a lot more people would have bought it. He had no idea why Apple did it, as he wasn't aware of any violation of the rules. We have no clue why Apple would take it down. If people will pay for something useless, shouldn't they be allowed to do it? Number 6, Run Pee. Imagine this very common scenario. You're in a movie theater watching an intense movie. You've been chugging soda out of one of those 5 giant $5 cups of soda, so naturally you have to pee. But you're scared to leave because you might miss a good part. Well, there's an app for that problem. It's called Run Pee, because when you need to run to the bathroom, this app has got you covered. The app has a user interface that allows viewers to review a film and note places in the film that are good for bathroom breaks. It even has a timer that lets you know when you need to scramble back to your seat. It advertises itself as a pause button for movies, but really that's reaching. So the next time you're at the movies and your bladder is about to burst, all you gotta do is type the name of the film into the app and see what times in the film other viewers suggest making a dash to the bathroom. Just make sure you have your phone silent and on the dimmest setting. Number 5, Milk the Cow. What if I told you there was an app that lets you pretend to milk a cow? Yeah, there's an app for that, and it's called, you already know what it's called, Milk the Cow. This app is pretty much a way for you to compete against your friends to see who can get milk out of the cow the fastest. Somehow, overall, this app seems to be a hit, although it's got some mixed reviews. Some people mention that it's not realistic at all. Shouldn't that be pretty obvious? Someone noted that the app is good for understanding the effort it takes for milking a cow, but the real thing is much more enjoyable. Okay. Some people seem to like it, though. One person mentioned that he or she had never imagined how milking a cow could bring joy into their life, and that the multiplayer option is what makes the app even better. We're not quite sure if we understand the appeal to this app quite yet. There's only one way to find out. Number 4, Send Me to Heaven. Some of us go to extraordinary lengths to protect our phones. There are the types of people who buy those OtterBox cases. They definitely do not care about how big nor how heavy their phones get, but hey, those things look like they can survive a nuclear war. Then there are people on the other side of the spectrum. For those people, there's an app that lets you throw your phone in the air and it'll calculate the height of your throw. It's called Send Me to Heaven, or SMTH for short. Really, in our opinion, it should just be SMH, because that's exactly what we're doing whenever we think of someone actually throwing their phone as high as they can. However, Apple actually decided to not list it in their App Store because of the app's, quote, encouraging behavior that could cause or damage to the user's device. In an interview with Wired, the creator of the app, a 50-year-old dude named Peter Savarsky, claimed that the whole point was definitely to get people to shatter their phones. Since rich people in certain societies bought very expensive gadgets just to show off anyways, he wanted to get them to throw their phones as high as they could. That's just interesting. Number 3, nothing. I think I can sum up this app for you in one word. Nothing. Nothing happened. In some ways, it's an app that's always existed. If you ever had a flip phone, it pretty much did almost nothing. But in the digital age, it almost makes sense that we actually do need an app that does nothing. Meet the Nothing app. With a black background, the app does absolutely nothing. It makes no sound, has no visuals, and has no functionality whatsoever. It's kind of the same thing as your battery running out and your phone just staying off. Here's the crazy part. It's been downloaded by over 20 million people. So who are the masterminds behind this weirdly interesting app? Launched by Ryan Nicodemus and Joshua Fields Milburn from The Minimalists, the app was designed as a digital mechanism to help people declutter and disconnect from all the noise around them. It would be easy to take this somewhat tongue-in-cheek. In an overly dramatic, somewhat campy trailer for their product, the Nothing app claims to not just disrupt an industry, but claims, quote, "We are trying to disrupt humanity." Does this remind anyone of Peter from the movie Office Space when he said, "I did absolutely nothing, and it was everything I thought it could be"? Number 2, the Kissinger. No, this isn't an app that's dedicated to Henry Kissinger. That would actually be even weirder and more random than what it actually is. But here's the long and short of this app/device. Essentially, if you ever wanted to kiss your significant other, but aren't actually in the same room as they are, well, this could just be what you need and want. Could being the operative word here. In order to achieve the app's intended purpose, you'd also have to buy an interesting looking device that you'd have to connect your phone to whenever you want to send and receive kisses. Using a silicone lip, or at least one that tries to look like a lip anyways, high-powered sensors measure the force of a person's lips when they kiss the device. The device then sends the data to your phone, which then shares it with the recipient through the Kissinger app. This theoretically means you could basically be sharing an intimate moment with someone who's halfway across the world. On the website, it says that the working prototypes are live and they're available for iPhones. However, we're not sure if the Kissinger ever made it out of testing. Have any of you guys ever tried or even seen it in person? Number 1, iShaver Pro. Ever want to pretend like you're shaving? Well, this app lets you do that. But why though? With realistic sound effects and the image of a real electric shaver, the app makes your phone look like an actual shaver at first glance. Okay, maybe not. When you turn on the app and pretend to shave with it, the app has little hairs coming down the screen as if you're actually shaving. We're not too sure how fun that actually is. At least it'd be good for a prank without someone actually seeing your phone. As one 5-star reviewer put it, you use it to sneak up behind your wife or girlfriend in the bathroom and pretend to shave a chunk of hair from behind. Apparently it sounds and feels so real, you should be prepared to run. However, we also want to remind you that you may also want to be prepared to sleep on the couch. Here's what's next.
It definitely makes sense for Trump to buy a private jet. However, buying a full 757 is still a bit over the top. However, Trump's Boeing 757 is an older model and it was used. So, at least Trump held back just a little bit. It was already pretty old when he bought it back in 2010. In the mid-90s,